Zackary Dixon, my husband, and I had been married for 7 years. We finally had our first child. When I shared the pregnancy result with him full of joy, he frowned and asked me, "Whose child is this?" I froze. "Of course yours. We've been married for 7 years without any children. I went on a business trip for 2 months, and you have a child. Are you joking?" Hearing these words, I was taken aback that I was pregnant for 2 months. The time was not wrong. Mallory, Zackary's mother, sneered on the side. "That's why you often go out at night. You are having an affair with another man." I often went out at night because I worked overtime that I was so angry that I almost lost my cool that in the end I told him, "If you don't believe me, then we'll go for a paternity test." Unexpectedly, Zackary agreed that I was so disappointed in him that I returned to my parents' home after the test. The result would come out in 3 days. Zackary and I agreed to go to the hospital together that if the child was his, he would apologize to me that if it was not, he would divorce me, and I must leave the house that in these 3 days. Zackary had not contacted me that I was so sad that I told my mother, Kirsten, that when the result came out, I would abort the baby and divorce him. She advised me to give him a chance, she said. "Zackary loves you. You haven't had a child for so long, and he hasn't said anything. It's normal to be suspicious when you suddenly have one. Wait and see. When the result comes out, Zackary will apologize to you." She was right. Although Zackary was a bit grumpy, he loved me that I decided to listen to my mom and give him another chance. The day the result came out, I slept through it. When I was ready to go out, the doorbell rang that it was Zackary standing outside that I thought that he had come to pick me up after getting the result. He was going to apologize for his mistake that I asked, "Zackary, have you read the result?" I didn't. I didn't even finish my words. Zackary slapped me that he used all his strength that I felt dizzy. Blood came out of my mouth, and a buzzing sound arose from my ears that I raised my head and looked at him incredulously. "Zackary, you're crazy," I shouted. There came a slapping sound that he slapped me again that I took a few steps back and fell straight to the ground that my whole body touched the table. Bam! The things on the table fell all over the place. The sound attracted my mom, who was in the bedroom. She ran out screaming and hurriedly helped me up that my mom shouted, "Zackary, how could you hit your wife? She deserves it." Zackary's eyes were red. He picked up the tissue box on the table and threw it toward me. "Liliana, you cheat on me. I'll beat you to death, you bitch." Watching the tissue box fly over, I pulled my mom to the side. What did Zackary mean by this? Could the result show that the child was not his? I said, "I've never had another man. There must be some misunderstanding here." "Misunderstanding?" Zackary gritted his teeth, took out his phone and threw it toward me. "See? There is no bullshit misunderstanding." I picked up Zackary's phone and took a look on the phone. It was a chat record with Joyce Underwood. Zackary had a college friend named Manuel Houston. Joyce, Manuel's wife, and I had met a few times and were considered friends. Joyce said that Manuel and I were dating. Zackary at first did not believe it, until Joyce sent a photo that it was a photo of erotic panties. The panties looked familiar to me. I had worn them that night before Zackary went on a business trip that I thought this might be a misunderstanding that I explained. "Zackary, these are not my panties." Hearing this, he instead became even more angry that he walked over and snatched his phone, tapping on it twice. Then he grabbed my hair and stuck the phone directly to my eyes. "Take a good look again. If this isn't yours, whose is it?" There was another picture. One side of the panties had the words, "Zackary exclusive," that my brain buzzed, and my face instantly went pale. "It's impossible. After you saw me wearing it, I threw it into the trash can. How can?" It quickly occurred to me that Mallory loved to steal my clothes. Once I got off work early, I pushed open the bedroom door, and Mallory was standing naked in front of my closet to pick clothes. When I asked her, she said she was in the wrong room. When she left, I realized she had dropped a pair of lace panties on the floor. Could it be that Mallory was wearing them? I looked up and said to Zackary, "I know. It was your mom." "What are you talking about?" Furious, Zackary kicked me in the leg. "How can you slander my mom? She is a decent older woman. She can't possibly wear your panties." My legs softened, and I instantly fell to my knees. He raised his hand and slapped me. My mom was anxious, tugging on his arm and begging, "Zackary, don't beat Liliana. There must be some misunderstanding here. Let's sit down and talk it over, okay? Stay away from me." Zackary impatiently pushed my mom away. She fell to the ground as a result. "Mom." I got anxious and yelled at Zackary. "Zackary, how dare you? My mom has a backache. If you hurt her, my dad won't let you go." My dad, Peyton, was a police officer. Zackary was aware of that, but he was already overwhelmed by anger. "You are a bitch, so is your mom. Maybe your dad will even thank me for teaching her a lesson." By this time, a lot of neighbors had gathered in front of my house. "What's going on here? It seems like Peyton's daughter cheated on her husband." "I don't think so. Peyton is a decent person. How could he raise such a daughter?" While the crowd was talking, one of them couldn't stand it anymore. That guy stood out and said, "Young man, calm down. Men can't beat women. And she is still pregnant." Zackary twisted his head to look over and said viciously, "Bastard, it's none of your business. It's not your wife who cheats on you." He scolded that man. Zackary then coldly yelled at the people who were watching, "It's a family thing. Even if the police come, what I'm doing isn't a crime. If you get involved or call the police, wait and see. I'll come to you. When he finished speaking, people went away, giving no concerns anymore. Liliana, you cheated on me, and you want me to raise your bastard child. Do you think I am a fool? He stared at my belly that I hadn't seen Zackary being so angry before that he was like a wild beast at that moment, and the bottom of his eyes were full of anger that I subconsciously covered my belly and softened my tone. Honey, I didn't do anything wrong. If you don't believe me, you can call Manuel over and ask who wore that underwear. He snorted coldly. Manuel. You said his name affectionately. You want him to save you? Your wish may not come true. Joyce has already brought a dozen people to catch him. He's toasted. Zackary saw my dad's whip not far away and took it down from the wall that he held it in his hand and asked me, when exactly did you and Manuel get together? I shook my head. I'm not with him. Still refused to admit it, right? Zackary swung the whip that I closed my eyes and screamed, but I felt no pain. When I opened my eyes, I found my mom standing in front of me.